Welcome back to the Cinemadix podcast. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we're going to open up with our favorite opening scenes from movies. Not in any specific order or what we think are the best, but just our top five. Our top five. I'm going to let Ryan go first with his number five.
And you'll probably notice a common theme with my ones, but I'd have to say my fifth favorite opening is Saving Private Ryan. I mean, just from the moment that scene opens, and it's not necessarily the opening because there's the cemetery scene, but on the boat, Tom Hanks is yelling orders, the rain's coming down, the waves are crashing, and as soon as the door opens up on sure death, the first two guys to get off the boat get shot right in the head. It's excellent delivery from Spielberg especially. And it's 40 minutes of nonstop action. I mean, you're trying to catch a breath in that. Number four, I would have to put Inglourious Basterds, and you might be able to see where the theme is coming here with war movies. But the way Tarantino develops an opening for a movie that presents such a chilling villain that Hans Landa, it's phenomenal in the movie. He won an Oscar. Mixed with Tarantino's excellent writing, which I think, Inglourious Basterds, he shows off his best in that movie. And also just this really slow burn interrogation going from different moods, whipping out his pipe and everything. And it's such an excellent delivery. And, it does set the tone for the rest of the movie. The third one I would have to say is Apocalypse Now. My third favorite is Apocalypse Now, I'd say. And compared to the other two, it's like, you don't feel like there's that much going on, but, we get a great introduction to our main character. You can see this guy is having a mental breakdown of just him looking at ceiling fans and comparing it to the helicopters in the jungle in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. His trauma is so real in that scene, and the end by the Doors is playing, and I personally love the Doors, so that's a great inclusion there. But it's only about a 2.5 minute scene. They don't play that much of the song, I feel like, and it's just excellent delivery on all hands. Francis Ford Coppola knocking it out of the park there. Number two, I honestly gotta say, is The Lion King, 1994, obviously, and Circle of Life is everything, man. The way they set that movie up is crazy. Before a title card hits, the first thing we see is the sunrise and the start of the song, and then all the animals coming together, and they're merging on this one moment in time when the son Simba is born. To the crazy song it's unmatched. It's hard to beat that. And number one, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, is Gladiator. The same thing with how it introduces a character, right? We watch Gladiator, spoiler alert too, but, we understand the whole movie how great of a leader, a general Maximus is, right? We learn so much about that aspect of him in the first 5 minutes, before the battle even starts. He's walking up the lines of infantry and archers, and you see the respect there, and the soundtrack's going, and you see him start to command, and then it just throws everything at you. If you see Gladiator with a surround sound or a really good sound system, it's really hard to say that's not one of the greatest openings of all time. There are catapults going off, arrows flying, people being killed on the front lines, and then Maximus just comes from behind, and they destroy. That really shows the power of Rome and the power of the people that make Rome. I would say that is my favorite opening of all time.
And I thought Gladiator 2 did another good job of, just another full-on war.
Right.
Basically right to open it up.
Really, this guy knows how to open a movie.
Yeah.
That is just hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what about you?
So for my top five, my number five personally was Midsummer. Ari Aster, that man knows how to open up a movie. That starts off just a little bit slow in that first minute or two, and then everything just hits the fan, and you just get to see this whole like traumatizing scene develop, and how the parents are just everyone's cooked. I mean, she tied like a gas line tube from the end of her car, from the exhaust of her car, to her parents' bedroom, and then to her own mouth while she was emailing her sister.
Right.
Like,
it's a lot of multitasking.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
About that, yeah.
And then Florence Pugh obviously does a great job, but she her reaction after that like 2 or 3, maybe 30, 45 seconds I'd say of crying is intense, and it's pretty ear pounding, like annoying,
excellently done.
But it's very well done. That's definitely one of my favorites. Number 4, maybe not like my favorite movie, but definitely a killer way to open was Top Gun Maverick.
Oh yes.
I mean, dude, just going Mach 10.
I hadn't even thought of that one. Yeah.
I mean, dude, and just really like the opening shots of like literally him looking like he's going around the globe, like. Those shots, it's so pretty, and then the whole plane, fighter jet, whatever you kind of want to call it, just starts catching on fire.
It's like, some sort of special forces aircraft. I forget exactly. Elon Musk will tell you.
And it's just, then you kind of understand, like, this is still Tom Cruise as Maverick. He's breaking the rules. He's breaking everything that he can to be the best of the best. And proving that he's the best of the best. For number 3, gotta bring Tarantino and Christoph Waltz back. Django.
Django.
Django. Django's definitely my number 3, and I knew Quentin Tarantino deserved a spot on this, but Christoph Waltz kind of coming in. He's just wanting to buy a slave off these slave travelers. These slave traders, kind of the guys just bringing them from
walking them from point A to point B.
And pretty quick with the violence there. And you kind of get the whole plot of the story, at least the first half of the story, pretty quickly. Like, hey, do you know who the brothers are?
The Brittle brothers.
The Brittle brothers. Could you recognize them if you saw them? And you're like, okay, so this is what they're going to do. And that does set up the whole rest of the movie.
Right.
And then you see Django, obviously, he's unchained now. The title of the movie.
Oh, yeah. Roll credits.
Roll credits. Again, killer opening. Great way to set up a movie, for sure. That is also, again, in my top 4 favorite movies of all time on Letterboxd.
Definitely.
Number 2 is The Dark Knight. The
it's
Joker.
Tough not to bring Nolan into this conversation.
Joker bank robbing scene.
Yeah.
Establishing the character, establishing his ethics, how he has no morals.
Right. Agent of Chaos.
Chaos. The sky, this zipline scene across the buildings, and just the whole way, everything about it, perfectly done. Great way to set up a villain character.
And that's the first thing we see too in the movie. The title credits roll, and there's a little TikToker, and then it zooms in on this building, and then it's the zipline scene. It's phenomenal delivery.
Yeah. We don't even get to see the Joker's face until the end of that scene, and then he drives a bus out of a bank onto the road
with an Illinois license plate too. It's awesome.
Perfect. Perfect.
It's tough not to bring Nolan into the conversation of opening a movie.
And then speaking of Batman, personally, again, this is just my favorite, not the best ever. But my personal favorite is The Batman. Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves directed and written. Man, what an opening.
What a great thing to see.
Dude, just after not really seeing much of Batman for a while, watching that in theaters, and the anticipation that we had to go see that movie in the first place, like the way they opened that movie, just the overall just energy of the mysterious, he lives in the shadows, criminals are afraid of him. Like, just seeing nothing. They don't even see anything. They just assume he might come out of nowhere. That level of fear is honestly portrayed into the audience.
Oh, definitely.
Like
yeah.
you're like, man, this guy is a badass.
Right.
Like this guy messes stuff up. Like he knows what's up.
It's like they sort of open it as like it's not necessarily that they fear me; they fear the idea of me.
Yes,
I could be right.
Exactly.
Now, right. Mm-hmm.
And then right into it, he comes out of the shadows on the subway and just tanks 8 dudes.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great opening. Yeah.
Instantly see a great choreographed fight scene.
Yeah.
Takes a bullet to the chest. You kind of start to see though in that scene that like Batman takes hits. You know, like he gets hit and he keeps on fighting.
Keeps on going.
And you know just the electrocuting choke out and then just beating the dude's face in and then looking up. I'm vengeance. Sets up again the whole energy and the whole like just the movie.
The whole idea.
The whole idea of Batman.
And it's crazy too, you know. So the Batman's your number one. Yeah.
I would.
You would say your favorite.
My favorite. Yeah.
It's crazy too because there's such a different Bruce Wayne in the Batman. He's not this playboy billionaire. He's a billionaire definitely, but he is so much more depressed still because of his parents' death. I mean, he's still seeking vengeance for his parents. You know,
some sort of closure in a way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know, say whatever you want about the Batman. The way that they have written Bruce Wayne into this, and I would have to go back to the comics obviously to see what's canon and what's not, but you know, he is a normal human being. I mean, as any normal human being would react to their parents' death, even if it's 10, 15 years later, you still want to see some sort of repercussion for that, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like that feeling doesn't just go away.
No.
Definitely. The audience should have realized that those photos were all taken from the same angle. All of them. Like all the photo evidence that he has of all the
all the stuff he lays on them, you know, like do this for me and all.
All the dirty cops and all the dirty all the proof.
Peter Sarsgaard's character, he's the DA at the time or something like that.
All that stuff is all taken from an angle. Like you can kind of put that together later when you figure out that the Riddler's apartment was right there the whole time. You're like, oh my gosh, like I actually understand now. Like this makes no wonder he knows so much.
Right.
It's literally like how, because that's what they keep asking. They're like, how does this guy know so much?
Right.
He was right there the whole time. He saw everyone who went in and out of there, and he knew that Oz and the mob was necessarily running that whole.
Because most of the stuff that happens comes from the Iceberg Lounge, the people that are there, the person operating the place. The amount of times Batman goes into the Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah, and when
he's coming out of the Iceberg.
Dude, when he goes into the Iceberg Lounge that first time. So cool.
That I still think that's my favorite scene from that movie. It's the tracking shot of, you know, he beats up the twins, he comes in, the music's blaring, and then we get a great fight scene again showing that Batman is not invincible and he's not indestructible and can just destroy everybody. I mean, he gets put in tough situations in a 2-minute scene, man.
And then again, I like the usage of like Batman's gear. Mm-hmm. That is something that I didn't get to see a lot of out of the Christopher Nolan Batmans, is him using his like gear is one thing that I kind of noticed.
Definitely,
except I'd say maybe towards the end, maybe the Dark Knight with the end Joker fight scene, you know, he gets to use kind of like these sonar vision.
And you know, so I mean, I personally think that Nolan's Batman is the best Batman, right? I think that's the first time we really get to see a live action Batman that's in the shadows. You know, he's acting like a bat. You know, he just kind of spurs out of nowhere. It also produced a great video game series with the Arkham games, which are fantastic. But, you know, Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan's Batman, I mean, that was the setup for this Batman, too. I would love to say that you wouldn't get Robert Pattinson's Batman without the influence from Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan, obviously. But you know, like it's something that he works with Lucius Fox, Morgan Freeman, the whole trilogy really is developing new gear. The start of The Dark Knight is I got attacked by dogs, and I need something that's a little more flexible.
Yeah.
And Lucius is like, sure, I'll get on it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And it's great to see the technology develop.
And that I definitely agree with. Like, I'm not saying that Christopher Nolan's Batman's had no gear usage at all or anything like that. There is definitely some throughout it, but I liked the use. I liked just the way that they were portrayed and the way they were used a little. Honestly, more instantly, like that first fight scene, like he's got an electrical like wrist.
Right, yeah, he's got a taser right in his hand. Yeah.
And he's bulletproof. Like his chest is bulletproof. So you're like, man, okay, so this Batman suit is legit.
Right.
And you can kind of see, it's a little different too. Like you walk up, you see the shot of the boots.
Yeah.
Like, of him walking up, the wet, rainy, like, combat boots, you're like, dude, okay, this guy's like...
Yeah, this guy means business.
Yeah, this guy's a badass.
And this is before Lucius Fox, too. I mean, this is when Batman really became Batman. I mean, at this point, in the start of the movie, he's just vengeance. That's what he goes by the whole movie, if I'm correct. He also has a bat wingsuit, which Christian Bale's Batman definitely does not have. Yeah. At least that we see. He's got a cape and everything, but Pattinson's Batman has a cape, too.
He does fly off the Christopher Nolan's Batman, Christian Bale.
Yeah, that's all his cape, His cape's electrical or something.
Yeah, and that's definitely a little different, but the way that Christopher Nolan's Batman. I mean,
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves' Batman. Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Dude, that scene of him flying.
And it's like a GoPro POV shot.
Dude,
it's awesome,
so cool. And then you think he's gonna land right on the top of that semi, and then he gets
fucked in the street, dude.
Eats it. You're like, dude, I was like scared for a second. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
How's he not in the hospital after this?
Yeah. And he limps away, and you're like, okay, like that's what I really did like about Matt Reeves' Batman was
great.
Just showing how he's not invincible, how he is a real human, how he feels real things. Again, like you said earlier, like this Batman has a darker, depressed, more mysterious side of him. He's not,
he's still figuring out his parents' murder, and what sort of conspiracy they were behind before they died,
Yeah.
And it's the plot twist in Matt Reeves' Batman is, his parents were kind of pieces of shit, but, and they were doing dark, conspiracy things, but, something I really love about Nolan's Batman is, what we were just talking about, Batman can glide with his cape and everything, and something that I noticed with Batman that I think makes it more of my favorite than Robert Pattinson's is when he's in Hong Kong and he's setting the charges and everything. He's somehow perfect aim sets these windows up. He starts gliding, and the music starts to amp up, and then he crashes through this window, does a barrel roll, and just starts beating the shit out of people. I mean, Batman's a badass, dude. He's supposed to. It's, when you can get that perfect mix of, annihilating everybody, but still being like, this isn't Superman or everything. He's not from Krypton. He's just a normal guy with a lot of money. I mean, that's the essentials of Batman. He's a really rich dude who is tough as nails,
Yeah.
But, just a small thing that Nolan might not have even thought about, of just crashing into the window, immediately getting up, and just start pummeling guys into the office space. It's incredible. And it's something that I think is sometimes overlooked in Nolan's movies, or his Dark Knight trilogy, is just that while Batman is, human, and even with the Joker, he can't, figure it out. He still beats the crap out of people. And that's what's awesome. That is a big reason why I love Christian Bale's Batman, is he beats people up much better than Robert Pattinson's Batman.
You think so?
I do think so, yeah.
I would say that the choreographed fight scenes in the Batman are better. I think they're a little faster.
Choreography, yes.
And I think that and like I said, I think it shows that Batman isn't invincible, that he takes hits, etc. But I remember you said a little while ago, what's your thing about Christopher Nolan's Batman in The Dark Knight with Harvey Dent and the Joker scene? When the Joker comes into the party.
Yeah, so...
explain it for me.
For those that know, and for those that don't know, there's a scene, an hour into the movie, maybe more than that, and they're holding a fundraiser for Harvey Dent, and Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale is doing it as some sort of he has a motive behind it. He wants Harvey Dent to be the face of Gotham, right? That's why he's like, yeah, I'm gonna throw all my money at you. I want you to be the face of Gotham. There's no more Batman. Nobody needs a mask. We need somebody unmasked to run this place. It's kind of relevant today, but and they're in that scene. Joker comes up. He's clearly looking for Harvey Dent. He makes that clear about 5 times. And we had already seen that Bruce Wayne knocks out Harvey Dent, locks him in a closet not far from where he knocked him out, very close to the party. And Joker gets in a fist fight with Batman. Batman flies out the window to save Rachel. And then from what we know, Joker just leaves. He doesn't do anything else in the apartment.
So is it because he thinks Harvey Dent is Batman?
So that's something we were thinking about, is that he is not fully convinced that Harvey Dent is not Batman. I mean, there's kind of been some reason to believe that from the Joker. And he even says later in the movie, I really thought you were dead. The way you threw yourself after her, but still, the Joker's this, meticulous guy. He's planning everything. He is 10 steps ahead. You're telling me he's got this whole party under control from the time he gets off the elevator. He doesn't take a quick glance at the one closet that has a metal rod in the handles and think like, oh, maybe I should go investigate that. Maybe I should go see what's in there. And obviously the whole movie would have ended. Harvey Dent would have been dead. He would have stood for nothing, and Batman would not be the villain that people think he is at the end.
Yeah.
If the Joker had just gone into that closet, this very clear closet that has a metal rod through it.
Yeah.
It's baffling to me, but I try not to dwell on Nolan that much and think like, oh, the Joker thought Harvey Dent was Batman, and then he just left, or he assumed the cops were getting called or something. It feeds into the rest of the story great, but it's still like, why didn't he?
Yeah.
It's not like this closet is on the other side of the penthouse.
And
then it's not in clear sight. We see Bruce Wayne put him in the closet as he's facing Rachel, who is facing the party. The party's right there. Joker probably stands 10 feet away from that closet. But nope, I'm not going to see what's in there at all. I'm sure. I know this is Bruce Wayne's penthouse.
Then the other thing the only other small plot hole from that scene as well is when Christian Bale goes into his safe room down to go get his
thank God you have
to get his gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he goes into there and then he just comes out of nowhere. Where does he come from?
Where does he come from, actually?
I was like, does he come back out of that panic room? And then those people are like, wait a second.
Nobody's looking at him either.
Yeah. Like, no, he just comes, he's like, you're looking for me?
Or, you're gonna love me.
Yeah.
I like you. Or, you got a little fight in you. I like that. Then you're gonna love me. Nobody sees him before that?
Yeah, it's like, okay, where did he come from? That's the only other thing. It's like, we know he didn't come from the window and he didn't come from the ceiling. He probably came out of the closet that Harvey Dent was in, honestly. Yeah. No diddy.
He just broke the the metal rod down, and then that would decrypt the whole like, oh, why would the Joker not look at the metal rod with the door? And it's like, oh, because there's no metal rod there, because Batman just beat the shit out of it. That's how he made his entrance. But no, I mean, that's the thing, is Nolan is not the perfect writer, and I'm sure I'd have to look it up, but I think his brother was involved in that. I think his brother is a stronger writer, especially with shows like Westworld.
Dude, even the Fallout TV show.
Yeah, I never saw that, but
it was great. Yeah, and I love the games. Those games. Yeah. And so one thing I will say really quick, the way that TV show is written and how it does have its little Easter eggs and really does incorporate itself into the games. Is really cool. They have the little knick-knacky things like, you got like Nuka-Cola and you got like, you know,
Quantum Nolan.
all the stuff.
Yeah.
It really is. It's done well. And he's a good writer. Some of it's a little cheesy, and it's a little meant maybe for a younger audience in a way, like target maybe like 16, maybe a 16-year-old, maybe almost a female audience in a way. Being
female audience.
Being a female main character as well. I think it also kind of does, but incorporating like the Brotherhood of Steel and some good action and a good mystery thriller kind of deal. I definitely think he does a good job, and they are going to make a season 2.
Oh, really?
But they're waiting for Fallout 5 to come out.
Really?
And they're waiting for that to come out so that they don't spoil anything from Fallout 5, and that's what Bethesda.
Yeah,
that makes Fallout.
They're wasting their time with Elder Scrolls 6. So
yeah, apparently, but I would agree in some senses that Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother, is
the unsung hero of the Nolanverse.
Is definitely has his moments where he's definitely a little more crystal clear.
Definitely
with his writing
I think
stuff.
He's a better writer than Christopher Nolan. I truly do. And I think, the movies that he's kind of shot out on, like Interstellar, he was a big part of that movie.
Yeah, and it kind of, people kind of overlook that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there is an interview out there where I think it was Dunkirk coming out, and I think his brother wrote part of that, or some of that, that an interviewer asked him, so this is not your first time working with your brother? And Jonathan goes like, no, this is actually my fourth or fifth or something like that. And it's like, well, yeah, the reporter doesn't even know how many movies he's worked on.
I know.
And this is the guy's brother. This is the same exact last name.
I know.
Like, and Christopher Nolan's a great writer. I definitely don't want to say he's not.
And I don't think that
his brother's involved, it's so much better.
Yeah, and I also don't think that Christopher Nolan's trying to take all the credit for his brother's writing either. Like, that's definitely not what it's about.
Nolan lets his wife take a lot of credit too. She won an Oscar for Oppenheimer too.
Yeah.
She's the producer.
Yeah.
And Nolan, he's gotten so much more affluence and wealth in Hollywood and, influence too, that he obviously can do producing jobs and he can take credit for that. But his wife, Emma, has been with him for the entire fucking movie. Yeah.
And they are a good pair. They're definitely a good pair.
They work so well together.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer is a great example of that.
And it is cool that she's been with him since the start as well.
And
even when he was a young...
there's great photos out there. Them
I'll pop them up right here.
Yeah, 1998, probably working on Memento or The Following, And I'm sure she's working on The Odyssey too. I can't imagine. Stop with her.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're gonna do great with The Odyssey.
Oh yeah. You've probably seen this by the time that Matt Damon's stills have come out, and I've been seeing people online complaining like, oh, they're already filming, and it's like, yeah, they're probably getting, principal photography started or something, but it's a photo of Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they put Matt Damon in normal Trojan Greek warfare armor. It's not like they have the whole movie done.
I know.
They took a photo of him.
I know. And it's blown up.
Yeah. Oh, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's great to see.
Well, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it right here, guys. Thank you for watching. Let us know down below. What else you guys want to see. Follow us on Instagram. We're just at Cinemadix on Instagram. We're gonna be posting clips from this podcast onto there. So go ahead, give us a shout there, and follow us on Letterboxd. I'll leave those down below.
Yeah, we'll put those for you guys.
Yeah. And once again, I'm Nick.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're the Cinemadix. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.